Hello, hello. Good evening, everyone. Hi, Karen Wolf here in the art studio. I am a painter, and I teach you how to paint and become a better painter, and so that you can paint with confidence and be proud of your art. Want you to be proud of your paintings. So we're gonna this evening. The other evening, I painted the hearts in the mason jar. I don't know if you guys caught that. And I did a Be Mine version and a just plain one, just messing around just to see how that would turn out. But I wanted to come on here this evening and show you just that you don't always have to paint on canvas. You can paint on wood. So that's what we're doing this evening. So I hope you guys are doing well. Hope you had a great day. Trying to get this thing here so I can get you zoomed in while I've got on my brain to also tell you about my text. I haven't told you about that. Oh, there's my little next project. A little sneak peek. A little painting of some laundry stuff back there. Thought that would be something cool. So, well, hey, Jill. Hi, how are you doing? Haven't seen you for some time. Hope you're doing well. Enjoying your retirement. That's always good, I'm sure. I can't wait. I think that'll be fun. But anyways, I'm going to just jump on here real quick and get my, oops, drop my brush. Hold on. Get my paint going so I don't have you guys just hanging on here waiting to see what I'm doing. So I did this one the other day, like I said. I'll wet my brush a little bit. And did the two versions there. I've got the Be Mine and the which I thought was cool. The Be Mine and the now this is just a piece of wood. This is just a piece of Luan that my husband cut. Nothing fancy. And I really could have just painted it just real soft. I should have just done that instead of painting it real solid. Because sometimes I like to paint wood just give it a go. Give it a little 1-2 and be done. And not paint it real solid. You ever do that with wood? Tried to get you all in closer. I didn't, did I? But I have the Be Mine on that one on the top, and I'll move it down. And I have the other just plain. So there. That just shows you can do some stenciling. That's not going to stay, is it? Do some stenciling and just plain. But also, if y'all haven't done this yet, I haven't mentioned this for a while. If you want to receive notifications when I go live or here, when I have sales or things like that, text Let's Paint to 304-245-9690. And I will shoot you a text right before I go live, and I'll notify you like if I have sales on my tutorials and things like that. Give you coupon codes. It's a direct line communication text with me. So just text Let's Paint if you're interested to 304-245-9690 if you'd like to receive a text notification. So that's always good. All right. I'm going to put this back here all the way, all right, and continue on. All right. I hadn't mentioned that for a while and thought I'd do that. So I'm just taking the paint and painting over this wood. And like I said, you could just do like the barely painting on here like that. You could do that. If you like that better, you could just do a wash. That's good. That's all a personal preference, just what you like. Hey, Brenda, welcome. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for jumping on. I appreciate you you joining in this evening. Trying to see if I can get my iPad up here so I can see posts whenever y'all post. Y'all say hey when you jump on here, and if you're watching a replay, let me know you're watching the replay. That also is a good thing because that allows me to see the folks that are on here. I can't see if you guys are on here unless you tell me on the replay. And see how that's just leaving the wood grain show through there. So you could just do it that much. Let's add some water to it and see what that does. It gets it going a little bit more. Sometimes if your paint's too dry, it just scoots. You need to add more water, a little bit of water to it. This is just acrylic paint that I'm using here. It's nothing fancy. It's just some, hey Amy, you on here again? Yay. Welcome. Good to see you. Good to see you. This is just acrylic paint, nothing fancy. Nothing at all fancy. And this board is not at all fancy. For sure. It's just a piece of Luan that Joe cut some pieces of wood for me the other day, and my husband, so that I could paint them on here with you all and show you different techniques of painting on wood. So isn't that fun? Need some more water. So wood's a little different. It does have a grain, and it's not a smooth texture like a canvas, and it kind of dries the acrylic paint out a little bit more, I think, than the canvas does. It kind of dries it a little bit quicker too. So I'm just kind of adding some water here just to get this a thin coat of white. Nothing, like I said, well, it's not just pure white. I've been putting purple and blue and brown in it a little bit, not a lot, but here and there, just to get some color in it, because I don't want it to be pure white. I just don't. So I'm going to go into a little bit more of that, just the brown color, and I'm just putting a little bit of blue and purple in it. I'm going to put a little bit more of that around, I think, the outside. But I'm just basically just getting color on there just to cover up this board for right now. Okay, so there's our board. And I think what I want to do too, I want to, instead of painting that outside like I did there, I want to antique it a little bit more. I'm going to do that a little bit, and I'll show you what I mean. So you all like for things to look a little bit, oops, didn't mean to do that purpley. You all like for things to look a little bit tattered, a little bit worn and torn and tattered? I do. I like for things to not look so not put together, not so perfect. I like for things to be a little bit. So I was trying to get that outside edge just a little bit darker. Get my light in my center there. Just taking some white back over, just kind of back and forth, just lightening up that center a little bit. Getting that a little bit light. Okay, so all I've done is just painted this board just a white with a burnt umber, a little bit of blue, a little bit of purple, and then I went back in and just kind of brushed some white in the center. Just wanting to light this center up a little bit, because this is just where I want my most of my light. Okay. All right. And acrylic paint dries 2 to 3 shades darker. So when you want something to be dark, don't worry too much about that. It's the light that you worry about with acrylic. It just gets darker and darker as it dries. Okay. All right. So I'm going to antique my edges a little bit, I think. I'm going to go around the edge a little bit with like a bristle brush, I think. This bristle brush should do it. I'm going to take a little bit of that umber. I'm going to just dab it on the paper towel a little bit. And I'm going to just go around. Oh, it's not dry yet. It's not dry. We have to let it dry. Okay, we'll do that last. Because if your painting's not dry, it won't work. It's a dry brush thing. So we got to have it a little bit dry. Okay, can you all see? I think you can see. Okay, so now we're going to go into painting the painting in. I was going to do the sides, but hey, we'll just do the jar. So what we're going to do, just similar, same thing we did the other evening, just going to paint in, but we're doing this on the wood instead of the canvas, just to show you. You do not have to have, we're just making a kind of a grayish color with blue, purple, and the umber a little bit. Just a gray color. You don't have to have canvas. If you have watercolor paper, if you have wood, if you have slate, if you have canvas, you can paint on any of this. Any of these surfaces that you have. You don't have to paint on canvas. Okay? Whew. I just can't get that set up there because it's not fat like a canvas. It's getting crazy. It's crazy. I need to move this over a little bit. Alright. So I'm just painting this. I made a purple, blue, burnt umber, and white, making a gray color. What do I have on here? Hey, Susan. Welcome. Appreciate you joining. Appreciate y'all when you jump on here. And then I'm going to go just making these little rings here, the little ringies of the jar. And all this is just very soft and very impressionistic. It's just an illusion of sorts. It's not, I'm not painting in like a real solid anything. Not a real solid jar or a real solid painting. This is a very soft painting. Very soft. Okay. Then we're going to go in with the flowers in the background. Just rinsing that brush. We're going to go into some green. Do a little bit of red. A little bit of green. A little bit of blue. Just making a darker green. Blue, green. And I did add a little bit of red just to darken that green a little bit. And I'm going to put in a little bit of white. Okay. And that white just softens my green a little bit because I don't want it to be a real harsh green. I just want it to be a little bit of a green. And I think the other day I painted in my, did I paint in my hearts first? I can't remember. We'll do a little here. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. I'm just making a chisel edge, which you paint down on either side of your brush, and it makes just a sharp chisel there for your brush. You can do that with a liner brush if you want. Or the 1/2 inch flat. It doesn't matter. I got that one a little bit fatter than I wanted. Get one up here. I'm just really lightly touching when I go down, just lightly. If you get them too fat, you can narrow them up a little and make them a little skinnier. If your paint's dry underneath, you can kind of clean that off. But if your paint's wet, like mine is, wood's not as forgiving as canvas as far as correcting goes. So definitely keep that in mind. You know how I tell you can kind of go in with canvas and correct. With wood, you really can't unless you have, like I said, unless it's dry underneath. That one, not that one a little bit. That, I want that to go that way, a little that way. But you can paint on wood. You can paint on slate. Any of you ever painted on slate? Have you painted on wood before? Y'all put in the comments and let me know if you've painted on wood before. Hey Tammy, welcome. And Linda, hello. All right. So there's that part of it. We got that part of it in. Now we'll let the want that set a little bit. We can go ahead and put in the colors in front of the. We'll do that. We can do that. So go back in with the color that you made, since it's still wet there on your plate a little bit. The blue, purple, and the burnt umber color that you made for the jar. The gray color. Oops. Purple's really strong. See how I just accidentally just pulled a bunch of purple in there? Purple's really strong. So, be careful not to, like, use too much purple. Purple's the weirdest color on the planet. Purple is really strong, and it can take over a painting, like, really quickly if you use too much of it. But if you're painting something purple and you want to get it to look purple, it's so transparent that it's really hard to get it to cover. So that's the weirdest thing. But that's how purple is. So Tammy says yes, she's painted on wood. Thank you for that, Tammy. I know Tammy's painting up a storm. She's been painting a lot of things, which is a really good thing. So just take that color that you were using to make that jar. I needed to add a little bit of light in there, maybe. Soften that a little bit. And that will make your stems look like they're back in the jar again. Because when you painted those down, it made it look like those stems were not in the jar. It made them look like they were in front of the jar. And then when you take that paint back in front of them like that, then that pops them back inside the jar. So, isn't that cool? Pretty cool. Make sure you get your jar even on the either side. Less is more with this beauty. Less is more. Usually with painting, less is more anyhow. So, yeah. So then I'm just taking that same, I'm just still using my 1/2 inch flat. I'm going into the red, and I'm adding a little bit of burnt sienna to it just to calm that red down a little bit. You can make your red look whatever color red you want it to be. Add a little bit of white to that. And I'm just making heart shapes. And you can make as many hearts as you want. You can make as few hearts as you want. You can make them as big or small as you want. It doesn't matter. That's completely up to you. This 1/2 inch flat has definitely seen better days. I kind of abused them. I want this to be a little bit bigger up here. And the size of this board, of course, is a little different than the size of this. So I may have to change some of my composition a little bit. Change the size of my hearts. When I paint on here with you guys, and I do these sorts of things when I don't paint them ahead of time. It's kind of a learn as you go project. Hey, Melissa. Hello, hello. Did y'all say hey? Let me know too. Have you painted on slate? Have y'all painted anything on slate? I don't think I have any more slate, so I probably won't do any slate demonstrations on here. But it's fun to paint on. It's a challenge for sure. I used to paint them a lot. Paint lots and lots of slates back in the day. And once you do, you realize just how different they are to paint on. They are. They're they're coarse, the texture of them, and similar wood has a texture, depending on the age of your wood. It has a texture too. And I'm not worrying too much either about my hearts being so perfectly shaped. Really, the more you don't try to get them all perfect, the better. That makes for a prettier painting if everything's not just all matchy-matchy and whatnot. And wood's definitely, it has, like I said, it just kind of your paint will scoot across. And I've added just a little bit of water to my paint. Just as I go back down here, I've been just putting a little bit of extra water in it to make it so it doesn't scoot across, more smooth. So Brenda says I've painted on wood and slate and wood. Cool. Tammy says slate is my next thing. I want to try painting one. That's cool too. Yeah. And it's always good to challenge yourself and try new things. Don't stay in your comfort zone. Paint. Sometimes you have to step out. Paint different things. Paint and paint afraid. If you're afraid to do something, don't worry about it. It's just paint it. Because that's how we learn. I thought I needed one right there. Paint one right there. And you can paint one even off of the edge probably. Just feel like I need something over here too. Maybe not. I don't know. It's hard for me to see because I'm like right up in it. It's best when you're painting to kind of step back and look at your paintings and see where you need something, see where you're off, see where your composition, where you need something more. Or look in your, take a picture of it with your phone. That's real helpful if you do that. Take a picture of it with your phone. So, hey Debbie. Hello. Thanks for jumping on here. So these, I've gotten this one just a little bit off color there. I'm just going to go back and paint that in. Just get them, I want them to be kind of pink. That one I messed up. There. Just getting those more, just some more color. I'm just going back and just getting some more color in those. Okay. All right. So those are kind of reddish pink, kind of a middle tone color. So I'm going to go in with my white. I'm going to add more white to this dirty brush. I'm just going to go into some more white, just adding some more white to that dirty brush. And I'm just going to lighten my light side a little bit more. And just kind of sweeping that in. And then I'm going to darken my dark side. Rinsing my brush. Drying it with a paper towel. Then I'm going to go into some more red. I'm afraid of that red's into the blue over there. This was a cool trick I did the other day. I had some art studio paints that I had in a great big pump thing that was just enormous and hard for me to maneuver. So I put it in these little things that I bought here, like little, they look like little ketchup and mustard little thingies. They're so much easier for me to deal with. But I'm still using up some of the bulk paint that I had from the art studio, so they're coming in handy. So then I'm taking some of the red, the dark red, and putting it in. This one I put the dark on the bottom because the light would be more to the top of that one. And this one and the rest of them, the dark is on the right hand side. So we're just putting in some dark red over here, just about halfway. This is a fun one. It's really just keeping it soft and just something cute, just a little Valentine-y thing. I know I asked you guys the other day if y'all like Valentine's. But if y'all have any suggestions for things for me to paint, feel free. Because I'm always open for suggestions. Was working on some paintings over the weekend. It was fun. Worked on a sunset, and this one was fun. I'm sure you guys, did y'all see this one? I had it on there, and I said, let me know what type of bird you want on this one. That was a fun one. It's just a little 8x10. That was a cute one. Okay, so if you want even more light on that other side, you can even lighten it up even a little bit more if you choose. And I will go in and put a highlight. You are the artist. You do what you want. If you want it lighter, you make it lighter. If you like it the way it is, leave it the way it is. Just remember, acrylic paint dries darker. It dries 2 to 3 shades darker. So once it's dry, it will be darker. Always remember that. Hey Sheila, hello. Hello, welcome. Right, so I'm going to go on here and I'm going to put a little touch of white just here on each side of where the light is. I'm just taking my brush and I just tipped my brush. I'm still using this 1/2 inch flat, and I've just got some white on there. And I'm just touching in the little highlight thingy. And then I'm going to go into that white, and then I'm going to do a little highlight on my jar here. You could do some on your stems if you want. And then we'll do a little light right there. Some reflections coming up there. Good. And if you get them too hard like that, you can probably just go over them with some water. Make sure it's clean water. My water's pink. Yeah, just kind of clean that off a little bit. I got a little bit much right there. And put a little one right there. But keep most of your light on the lit side. But you do need some reflections here on the front to make that look like glass. To make it look like a jar. Okay? Alright. Then I'm going to show you what I was talking about with the, what I like to do on my wood. Is make it look kind of rustic around the edge. And like I said, this is a personal preference thing. You may or may like it, you may not. But I'm going to go in and do this, and we'll see if we like it. So I think I'm going to take some brown, the umber color, maybe add a little bit of purple. And then I'm going to take a paper towel. And I'm going to clean most of my paint off on my paper towel. And I'm going to make a kind of like an antiquing on the edge of this canvas. Or not canvas, it's not canvas. It's a piece of wood. And all I'm doing is just taking just some dry brushing around the outside edge of this. Oops, there I did that. Didn't mean to do that. Let's see if I can. Yeah. Bring that off a little bit. There. Just taking that brush and just scumbling it along that edge. And it has to be dry. This is a dry brush sort of thing. You don't want it to be wet. And then go back in, get a little bit more paint on your brush, daub it on your paper towel. And you don't want a whole lot, because it'll be too harsh. And you could do this, dry it first. If you want, you could dry it first. This isn't going over. There we go. And then go over it that way. You can go over it more if you want it to be more in the out in this area right here. You can put some out in this part right here if you want it to be more rough there. You can take some of the white and go back over it and antique it a little bit, or go over it with the white. Do that a little bit too if you want, or light purple, or and it's just taking most of the paint off of your brush you put it on your brush and then you daub it on your paper towel so you're not putting a lot. And don't do what I did there and just daub it on there really. I don't know, I kind of like that. The little pop-up little. I like that. You can go some over that too if you want. Just be careful not go in your flower or your flowers. In your flowers, petals, or hearts. Gosh, until it dries. Oh shoot! Should we add some leaves to our heart? A little impression of a leaf on the stem. Is anybody game for leaves on the stem? Do we have any opinions on that? Like right here where the stems are, adding a few leaves. You want to try that? See what that looks like? What have we got to lose, right? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. It's a piece of Luan with a little bit of acrylic paint on it. I think we're good. Any goers? While you guys are thinking about that, I'm going to get me a drink of water. Like right just in here, just some little. Think so? Come on, you guys. Might be cute, Pam says. Well, hello, Pam. Good to see you. Krishina. It's like Louise. I can't see very well down there. So I apologize for that. So I'm going to have to mix me up some more green. And that was green with a little bit of red and a little bit of blue. Is what mine, ooh, not a lot of blue. Green, blue, red, and we went with some white to make a light green color. May have to grab a different brush. This brush is so wore out. Like I said, I'm being kind of mean to it. You could do this probably with a round. Let's see what I like using a 1/2 inch flat, but like I said, my 1/2 inch flat is just wore plumb out. I can't do that with that big. I'm gonna have to get a different, sorry, I have to get a different. My Simply Simmons brushes are upstairs. I went up there to get some more brushes. I have them upstairs in my closet, and I laid them down on the desk and forgot to bring them down. And every time I'm up there on the elliptical, which isn't real often, don't get me wrong. Yeah, nice to see you on here too, Pam. Good to see you. Good to see you. I hope you're doing well. Yeah. I see those daggone brushes on there. And how am I going to do this? And I think, oh shoot, I need to take those downstairs. What do y'all think? Yay? Now this one's out here in La La Land with no stem. You like it? I think so. think so. What do you think? Pam says, what are you painting on? Let's see. You're doing okay? Yeah, I'm doing good. Doing really well. Thank you. Thank you very much. What did I paint on? She's just got on here a few minutes ago. This is just a piece of wood. Just a piece of Luan. I was explaining to folks. See, it's just a piece of wood. My husband cut some wood out for me. I was just explaining on here that you guys, demonstrating that you guys can paint on the canvas, but you can also paint on other things too. You can paint on wood. You can paint on slate. You can paint on whatever your heart desires, as long as you're allowed, as long as it's something you're allowed to paint on. So don't just be going and willy-nilly painting on whatever you want, because you shouldn't do that. Oh, I just painted on my shirt. All right, I think that's enough leaves. You all think that's enough leaves? This one looks like it needs something up there, maybe. I don't know, maybe one right there. I like it. I like it with the leaves. I think that is cute. So there you have it. You have, and you can keep going with it. I mean, you could add like little white flowers. You could add, you know, wispy things sticking out of it. We could be here all night. We could just go and go and go. Oh, gosh. Thank you, Pam. Thank you very much. Yeah, you can paint on whatever you've got. The wood is fun. It's a little different. It really is a little different to paint on. But sometimes you don't always have, you know, maybe you don't have canvas to paint on. Maybe all you have is a piece of wood and you want to paint something. So have at it and paint on that. And it's fun to, even if you have canvas and that's not the case, it's fun to experiment and paint on different things. And we should always challenge ourselves to paint on different things, paint different things. Don't always paint easy. I say that all the time. Don't always paint easy. Challenge yourself. I'm struggling here just to write my name on this wood. It's taken me longer to write my name and the date than it was to paint the whole painting. It's just rough, just a little rough. Oh, I just love that. Do y'all love it? I think it's so cute. So there you've got hearts on wood. It's a little taller, a little different. Love it. Added the leaves this time, and we antiqued the edge and took a little bit of dry brushing to the center. This one was the jar on canvas, plain, and this one is the jar on canvas with Be Mine. So pretty cool stuff there, guys. Pretty cool. And I expect you guys to just be painting all of these and giving them to all of your Valentines. All right. Okie dokie. Thank you all so much for jumping on here with me this evening. I appreciate you guys. Oh, sorry about that. Trying to get that squared away, and it slid over. So I'm about to freeze to death. I'm not really. It's just cool in here this evening, and I shouldn't complain. Every time I say that I'm cold, then I'm like, oh, you're not cold. You're not as cold as those folks that have to work outside in the elements. I'm not cold because my son and my husband, they work outside in this weather, and it's just so bitter cold out there. So I'm indoors. I got it. Good. I'm just a baby. All right. Thank you all so much for jumping on here with me this evening. Appreciate you guys so much. Like I said, if you are so inclined to join on my text list, please text, excuse me, Let's Paint to 304-245-9690. Oh, thank you, Melissa. Thank you. Appreciate it. Text Let's Paint to 304-245-9690 and get on my text list, guys, so that you know when I'm going live. You can be notified with a text, and lickety-split, here I am on a live. So, there you go. That works. All right. Y'all have a great evening. Thanks so much for jumping on here. I appreciate you guys. And if you know of anybody who would be interested in painting, wants to learn to paint, become a better painter, or maybe that's you. Maybe you want to learn to paint and become a better painter. I'm here for you. I can help you out with all that. Just stick with me, and I'll teach you a thing or two. All right. Thank you all so much. Appreciate you. God bless. Take care. And I'll see you back on here again real soon. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.